Hi, Zizaran here with a day one impressions and just a little bit about how day one went in general for the new Path of Exile patch. Day one was interesting. It went off like the queue went like normal. There were no like queue problems initially. Then I was able to play for quite a bit with no issues, and I saw that there were a lot of server issues, and there's been some problems in the past. I remember even one season only me and Steelmage were able to play out of the streamers because we made a private league and there were like pretty much anyone wearing any cosmetics crushed the entire instance for everyone. And obviously neither me nor Steelmage wears cosmetics on league start because there's been so many problems with them. So yeah, that was a funny one. But this time as well, like obviously hardcore solo self-found crushes less than other seasons because there are very often cosmetic related crashes. But even I started crashing on hardcore SSF after a bit. So I think I crashed like 3 to 5 times, maybe a bit more during the campaign. Very frustrating because even while I'm crashing, people are writing in my chat, oh, I guess they're doing streamer stuff again because streamers aren't crashing. And that was posted mid-crash. And it's like, I don't know if you had the experience of like your parents asking you to do your homework while you're doing your homework, but it feels like that. It just makes me so fucking tilted. And in general, there were like a lot of issues like that. I was doing the hardcore SSF boss kill race and playing the strongest build like the Exarch, or sorry, Earthshatter or Berserker. I did like a collab guide with that with Exile, and thank fuck that he made such a nice POB and stuff because I only did campaign practice runs and the campaign went really well. I was like top 10, top 6. I got stuck in Merc Lab a little bit, got very unlucky on and you might be thinking, oh, you got unlucky on snaking. No, I got unlucky on quality. I kept getting like a level up or change to treasure keys and stuff like that. So I actually ended up being an hour and a half in Merc Lab. So I went from like rank 6 or rank 5 to like rank 14 or 20 in Merc Lab. And then I got to maps and I did interact a bit with mercenaries during the campaign, but not that much. I'd get one every 3 acts or something, and then I got one at the start of maps, and I think I still have the one I have at the start of maps. It's doing fine. I've seen an insane amount of people dying to them. I think this is the least balanced thing in the game since Metamorph, but that's fine. I think that's acceptable. They don't necessarily have to be balanced for hardcore, I guess. I think the strat for them on hardcore will be to have a decoy totem out and one-shot them. Crazy to fight. I've seen so many people in this as a hardcore ladder got like one shot, and I think it was like, yeah, Ben saying at the start like, I'm not going to interact with them was a very smart move. But either way, I survived, did not die, and I really regretted not having done much mapping practice because, like, first off, I haven't played slams that much lately. When I've been melee, it's been like dual strike, double strike, and lightning strike, and things like that. I haven't really played slams much since the Impaler era with Crown Slam, and I haven't really played any of these shouting builds. So I remember, like, I was like even asking in chat, like, why are we using this cry? Oh, actually, that makes sense for like proccing the Earth Shatter. And then I was like, how does General's Cry work? And anyway, I had so many like questions because I haven't played, and the builds have changed a lot since I actively played them. So I had a lot of things to figure out, but actually, like, just thanks to the guide Exile made, I was able to stay in top 6. Being in like tier 15s with like 4.2k life and stuff, very scary on hardcore with no practice. Do you know when you've played a build a lot and like regardless of your defenses, you're just very aware of what the build can do? You have no idea when you haven't practiced or played it a lot, right? So I'm like, I could get one shot at any point here. But either way, I'm very happy about how that part went. So how did I do in the race? I did all the quest versions of the bosses pretty early on, like some hours after Ben, 4 or 5. And I was rushing for Katarina. I was very ready for Katarina. I bought a Katarina for 60 divines on standard just to try it real quick on my spectral shade throw, and I was like, wow, this is easier than before. So I was like, I'm gonna rush Katarina, put all my resources into betrayal, and I managed to get 3 safe houses, but there's no Katarina dropped. And then 30-40 minutes after, while I was grinding more safe houses, somebody else got a Katarina and did it. So it was very close. Because if I went in, like, it was a very easy fight, right? That wasn't something where, like, I could have died to Katarina. I had good damage, good defenses, and kept Chaos Rest, so that was obviously no issue. I did think that they were going to make that fight harder, not easier. But maybe they'll have an Uber Katarina. That most likely will do Brickhead Arena next patch, actually, thinking about the way the arena looks now. It looks very ready for it. Oh, another thing to talk about too, they didn't cancel the race, but because of so many issues, they're making a new race once everything is stable, because they're aware that several racers got heavily impacted by this. American racers got impacted the least. I don't think Ben crashed a single time, and some servers went down on NA, but nowhere near as much as EU. And a lot of EU players, myself included, ended up playing a lot on NA. But because of routing, I guess, I don't really know what the issues were, but EU players would crash on NA as well. So yeah, or like, yeah, really weird ping. And it wasn't as bad for me as it was for some others. Like Sai would very, very readily just like have his instances without fully crashing go to 500-600 ping. So like some people had way worse issues than others. And then, oh my God, I'm so sorry for console. Holy shit. I ended up completing all the tutorial bosses not too long after Ben. And then I got a little bit unlucky on like Icor and Exarch, like the implicit currency, on unrolling those. But I'm fully geared now. I'm ready to do the bosses. Where I'm ready as what like the character needs to be, because other people have done it on similar gear, or slightly better, slightly worse. And my entire map pool has just kept breaking. I have now lost 15 tier 16 maps, and the problem with that is obviously we're on fairly low geared character, right? Because you're at a dead rush to get to the boss super fast before others. So you can't really... I am alching my tier 16s now, but for a long time we were running them blue, right? So you're not... Also, because of this dead rush, you're also not getting earlier Atlas points. You have very, very minimal sustain. So while normally I end up getting like 600 tier 16s very fast, right? It drops way too many. But with this strategy and the way we're rushing like this, you don't. So losing maps, and I had 3 loss within 10 minutes, I was like, that was my entire map pool. I have to go down to tier 15s and I have to start using Kirak missions, which doesn't get the Exarch and Eater currency. And I was just so frustrated. And it was such a painful experience, because like every time I finally recovered my map pool, I was like, okay, yes, I have 3 tier 16s now. Boom, crash. And then boom, crash. And I was like, no. And obviously sometimes it's very easy. The smaller your pool is, the easier it is to get unlucky. So I just didn't get enough maps to really find the memories for the actual bosses. So I have one of the proper fragments for the real bosses. And then I'd been awake 29 hours or something. And I sat there thinking like, it'll take maybe another 3 hours to get the last 2 bosses. But then I've been awake for 32 hours, and I realized I'd lost the race then. Because I was like, if I go in at 32 hours, it's so likely, because the bosses are kind of hard. Like, obviously, I've tried and done the tutorial ones, and there's so many things that'll one-shot me in the real ones. I'm like, this is going to be hard while I'm like awake, let alone on 32 hours. And I had this one nice second wind around 23 to 25 hours awake, just felt really reinvigorated, and I'm like, I was ready, I was motivated, and that's where the servers got really bad. So yeah, at like 28 or 29 hours after really trying, I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna sleep. Now woken up, and obviously the top 10 slots are filled, so I would have had 6 if I had a little bit more RNG on getting to the bosses. And that's assuming that I don't just like, fuck up and get one shot. These are hard fights, so by no means I can guarantee that even now while I'm awake that I'll be able to do them. I do feel a little robbed of an attempt though, you know? That is a little sad and frustrating. But thankfully they are doing a second race. I think that's a good way to handle it by DDD. And hopefully I will make the time enough to practice to have a shot there. Considering how little practice and stuff I did, I'm pretty happy with how I was able to do. Hopefully I am able to kill the bosses. And all the new stuff is very fun. I've probably only fought like 15 mercenaries or less. And they're super dangerous. Definitely have to find a one-shot tactic for hardcore to kill them. Decoy Totem 2 will be really good, but they're insane. They're almost a death sentence on hardcore. Like if you're regularly doing them, let's say every map, you are dead within 5 hours, I think. And I am going to start working on gear for Blight of Contagion. I think that'll be my next build. I think that looks really fun, just as a Sumi map farmer. And then maybe while working on both those builds, make a proper bosser. I'd love to make a brand bosser, but we'll see. Either way, just wanted to make a video like going over the start. Huge support by all of you on my community on Twitch. Really appreciate it. People obviously, you get the Zana portal, So let's go in game and I'll talk a little bit about my gear. And most of the gear you see is honestly after 13 hours played. I haven't really changed much gear lately, so I was, yeah, just a little patting myself on the back here. Proud of how fast I geared with no experience on practicing this build. Got this from Rug. First time Rug has ever 6-synced something for me, I think. And I do have a second 6-sync as well, so I know Karn and a few of the other racers were like, what the fuck? Acceptable royal plate. Took me a while to get the implicits. Really good glove. Probably don't need the leech. Reforged Chaos Amethyst, standard one. And then this just ID'd. Decent boots and helmet, mostly because of the regen. I really like regen for these new fights. And then, yeah, pretty standard on a lot of the stuff. Got a little bit lucky here on the Physiotech Leech as mana, actually having axe damage as well. That's pretty much it. Went pretty well. And yeah, hope you guys are enjoying the league. Disconnects aside. And yeah, it's sad that that's happening. I think it detracts from an otherwise really good league. But either way, thanks for watching. Sub if you liked the video. But more importantly, try to die less than I do.